Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to show you guys my palette collection. A little bit of a declutter, but not very much just because I have an issue with getting rid of my eyeshadow palettes. I don't know what it is. I have a hard time getting rid of them. So I usually don't get rid of an eyeshadow palette until it starts falling apart on its own, like when you pick it up and it's like super crumbled and it's like, well, I just literally picked it up and it fell apart. That's usually when I will get rid of a palette. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys my collection. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And I'm gonna go ahead and get started with like my little single shadows that I have. So this is one from Tarte's, and this is just like a little single shadow. I've never used this, you guys, but this is the Tarte Chrome Paints. Yeah, I've never used it yet. So I think also what I'm going to do is kind of like set aside everything that I haven't used yet. So that way I can kind of do some reviews on it and give you like my first impressions on it because I've never used it. Up next I have this one. This is from the ice cream box. This is Be a Bombshell. It's a really pretty cream teal shade. I've used it and I really do like it. Next up I have a couple of single shadows from Ace Beauty. Now this one is in the shade Huckleberry. It's a really pretty color. I love it. And then I have this shade, and this shade is French Vanilla, but it's a silver color. So I don't like how they name that. I feel like French Vanilla should be like a champagne color, and this is silver. So I don't like that. Huckleberry I can see being like this purpley color. But anyways, that's my only issue with it, is like you named it wrong. I don't like that. So I also have this kit here by Bella Pierre. These are loose shadows in here. It comes with like a brown bronze color, a teal, and then it comes with a loose glitter. I'm not a big fan of the loose glitter. I love the color of the loose glitter. It's a really pretty blue, but I'm just not a fan of like loose glitters and things. But actually that teal shade worked out fabulous with this Be a Bombshell teal cream color. Like it worked out so good for this one. So next up I have these two little palettes. Okay, I've never used either one of them. This one's CoverGirl and this is LA Colors. This one's called Be Playful and this one is Shimmering Sands. These two didn't really impress me or anything. I think somebody has given them to me, but I'm probably just going to pass them over to my daughter because anything that I don't like, I always just give to her. I have a 7-year-old little girl, so she really appreciates any makeup that I give to her. Next up, I have this AOA. This is from Shop Miss A. If you've never tried their eyeshadows, they are really good quality for $1. And I mean, you get 4 pans for $1. It's a great price. I also got this from Shop Miss A. This is a Muse. This quality is really amazing too. I can't remember the price on this, but it wasn't that much. Again, they're not really palettes that I really reach for, so I'm probably gonna pass them over to my daughter because I don't really reach for them. So up next I have a bunch of e.l.f. palettes because I'm a huge fan of e.l.f. If you watch me, you know that. This palette right here was a collection, and you know, I have to say the quality in this palette really is not that great. It's pretty dry. I don't know, but it's definitely not the bite-sized quality. I was surprised with that, but yeah, I wish it was, but it's not the quality of the bite-sized eyeshadows, so it's okay. Like, I'm not gonna get rid of it or give it to my daughter because I actually really do love this color here, and I want to use this color. I've never used the purple out of here. You can make these work. But you kind of just have to like keep packing it on, and it really does help with some setting spray because they are more on the dry side. Now let's shift gears into my little bite-sized eyeshadows. I have a ton of these. I don't have them all, but I have a ton. So this is my favorite one right here. This is the Cream and Sugar palette. This is absolutely my favorite bite-sized palette that they have. I love this one shade right here so much. I need to get another one because I have used it so much that it's falling apart. This is Truffles. Again, the quality on these palettes are amazing. You cannot beat this. I think they're like $3 or $4. They are not that expensive. This is the newer one. This is I Love You a Latte. I love that palette for transition shades. This one is Orange Dreamsicle. It's a very pretty little palette. I do plan on using that one a little more this summer. This one is Pumpkin Pie. I love these ones for fall time. This one is called Rose Water. It's very pretty pinks. And this one is called Berry Bad. Now I like to use Berry Bad and Rose Water together. I generally use 2 bite-sized shadow palettes together. Like I love Truffles and Cream and Sugar together. This was from another collection of theirs, and this one is Meant to Be. I'm not sure if these are still available or not, but I love the greens in these 2 palettes. This one here is Chocolate Mint. I love the Meant to Be and the Chocolate Mint together. They complement each other really well. And then of course I got the newest little collection. This is the e.l.f. Runs on Ducking collection. Of course I'm going to keep this packaging because it opens like a little donut tray. And then you have your different shadows in here. The top one is going to be chocolate frosted with sprinkles. Then we have strawberry frosted with sprinkles. And then we have Boston cream. The quality on these are really good. I love these little shadows. Honestly, e.l.f. is my favorite drugstore eyeshadow brand, especially the little bite-sized palettes. They are amazing. Okay, so that was pretty much all my like smaller palettes for the most part. I have a few more smaller ones, but most of them get to be a little bigger. Now this is the Makeup Revolution, and this one is Chilled. I love this palette because it has so many different green shades in here, and I love green eyeshadows, but the quality on this is really nice. I've never had an issue with these palettes before. Wonder Beauty. I love this little springtime palette. That little pop of purple in here is so pretty. I love it a lot. I don't really reach for this palette too much, to be honest, but it is a nice quality palette. I do like the colors of it. Sassy Cientas. This is the Dose of Colors. This is what it looks like. It looks to be a little more brown, but when you put it on your actual eyes, it does come off pretty orange. So I really do like this palette. This is a great palette for summertime, especially when I'm nice and tan, girl, because when I'm tan, I like the brighter colors on me. So this is Suva Beauty, I believe is how you pronounce it. It's the Rose Period. I love this palette. It is the perfect like pink toned palette. It has like almost every pink in here that you need to create a look. I really do love this palette though. It's been a while since I've used it, so I might have to reach out for this one a little bit here soon. So I have a Space Case Cosmetics palette. This is what it looks like. It's nothing too fancy. It's pretty simple palette. I do really like the colors in here. I just don't really reach for this palette. All right, next up I got a Smashbox palette. This one I got out of BoxyCharm, and it actually came with an eyeliner in the top little pocket right here. It was an eyeliner in here. But honestly, I really don't reach for this palette too much either. I don't know why. I don't know. It doesn't wow me, I guess. It's good quality. but I really don't reach for it. So I might go ahead and pass that one over to my daughter as well. This is Maybe Take Me to Paris. I got this out of an ice cream box. I love the colors in here. I do use this one when I go for my pink colors. I love that like bubbly toast color. Oh, it's so pretty. But yeah, I love this palette. The quality is really good on it, and I've never tried anything from that brand before, so. Okay, so this is a new palette for me. I've never tried Juvia's Place before, so I was super happy to get this. I've swatched it, but I haven't tried it yet. And I mean, will you just look at the pink shades in this palette? So I'm definitely going to be doing a video very soon using this palette, but oh, I love the pinks in here. So this is another palette that I got out of the ice cream box, and this is a Ruby May Cosmetics palette. This palette is so pretty. The reds, the greens, I love every color in here. This is a really nice palette. The quality is amazing. This is my first Ruby May Cosmetics palette, but I would definitely get another palette. I've actually been looking at this purple palette they have that I really want to get. All right, next up is a Spanglish, and this one is so pretty, you guys. I definitely want to use the purples in this palette. They are gorgeous. I love those two shades right there. So I'm probably going to be doing a look with purple very soon as well. Up next is Pretty Vulgar, and this is the Nightingale palette. It's just a really nice cool toned palette. I've had this thing forever and a day, but I really do like the black in here. The black is bomb out of that palette. Okay, this is another one from the ice cream box, and this is the IBY palette. This is the Hollywood Glam. The shades in here are beautiful. I love this like lavender shade in here. I mean, you could do a nice springtime look with this palette. So I do love this palette too. The quality is good on that as well. Okay, so now I have a Hank and Henry Living in Color palette. I love to use this palette, but I never just use this palette. I always use this palette as like, I'm just going to be using this teal shade. I'm just going to be using this blue shade. I'm just going to be using this copper shade. So I never use this as like just to complete a look. I always use it just as I'm going to use the one shade that I'm looking for out of it. Up next we have LA Splash, and this is another one that I got out of my ice cream box. To be honest, I like the palette except for like these three shades down here. Those three shades were pretty terrible. The rest of the shades did really good, but those three shades weren't great. So it's an okay palette, but I'll probably give that over to my daughter as well. So now I have a Crown Pro palette, and this is the Glam Metals. I loved this palette for so long. It's been a while since I've used it, but it's a really nice quality. I've never had an issue with the Crown Pro palette blending out or anything. So I really did enjoy this palette. But yeah, I need to kind of like rotate my collection a little bit. Next up, we have a Zion palette. This is an okay palette. I really kind of use this more for like a fall time palette. I don't know, I just get fall time vibes from this palette. So I really don't reach for it that often, every once in a while. Next up is Dominique Cosmetics. Love this palette. Really, I love this one shade. Like, I don't know what it is about tan cream shades, but I love tan or cream colored shades. I just think they make your eyes pop. But that one shade is phenomenal out of this palette. I actually got this out of BoxyCharm, I think. Up next, I have Too Faced. I really like this palette a lot. The quality of this packaging is amazing, of course. Like, Too Faced always has great packaging. I love this palette. This one shade in particular is so good. It's like the best copper shade ever. I love to mix and match my palettes, so a lot of times I'll use 3 palettes and I'm using 1 shade or 2 shades out of each palette. Next up is my Kylie Cosmetics palette. This palette is really nice. It's so good for a neutral palette. The quality is really nice. It has like every gold color that you could ever want. This is a really nice palette. I like this palette a lot. I have seen it on Ulta go on sale for like 30 bucks. I would say grab it when it goes on sale for sure, but I really do enjoy that palette. And next up, I got this palette recently as well, and this is the Black Radiance palette. I picked this up at a CVS. Like, you can still see it has the little clear plastic on there. But I got it because it had that red and the black in here. I loved that, but I got it on sale for 10 bucks at CVS. So I was like, yes, I've never tried anything from Black Radiance before, so I figured, why not? Let's try it and see. So I'm gonna stick this with my Juvia's Place palette. Okay, so next up I have Fenty Beauty. It's such a pretty palette. I've never used it. I swatched it. They're beautiful. So I'm gonna put this in my pile to try very soon. I also have this palette from Fenty. The packaging on this palette is so good. I love the packaging. It's beautiful. The quality of this packaging is phenomenal. The colors, I really love the colors in here. It doesn't have bad quality, but it's not as intense as I would like. Like, you put the colors on and they're pretty sheer. Like, it takes a lot to build up the color. Like, the color payoff just isn't there for me, but I'm not gonna get rid of this palette. Like, I love this palette. It just pleases my eye, so I'm definitely keeping this one. My daughter doesn't get to have it. So I have a couple of palettes from Storybook Cosmetics. Their packaging is to die for. I got this out of BoxyCharm. So I got this a little one, and I wasn't really paying attention, and my daughter got into it, but you know, she hit pan on 2 of the colors, so yeah, I'm just going to give this to her because obviously she really enjoyed the shadows to hit pan on 2 colors. I mean, she's doing better than I did. So this is her palette. I like this one a lot. I love how these open up like a book. The blues in here are so pretty. I've actually done a video on my channel here using this palette, so the quality is really nice. I enjoyed this palette. And again, I like the packaging. Super cute. All right, moving on to Morphe. It's okay, but this is, like, to me, very, you know, it's just a very okay palette. It's nothing, like, spectacular, nothing like that, you know. It's okay. I don't know, I'll keep it, because, I mean, the quality is okay, and, I mean, it's a neutral palette, so, I mean, I always like neutral colors. And then I have another Morphe and Manny collab here. This one I think I got out of BoxyCharm as well. It's an okay palette. I've never really used it too much. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible. It's okay. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it, but I don't use it that much either. Essence. So this Essence palette is my favorite stinking palette. It's the Coffee to Glow. I've hit pan on this shade. I think I'm about to hit pan on that shade. This is a really just nice, grab it, throw it on. You don't have too many colors to pick from. It's a nice neutral palette. The quality is awesome. This is like an $8 little palette. Totally worth it. This is another recent buy. I haven't used it yet. It still has the clear packaging on it. But this is the Coral Me Not palette. So I wanted to try it because I really did love the Coffee to Glow palette. I like these types of tones for spring and summertime. Next up we have Tarte. This palette is so good. I love all the colors in here. It blends out so nice. I like to use this one. Then I have this Tarte palette here, the Tarteist Pro. I hate this palette. I absolutely hate this palette. I have not been able, the only shades I can really get to work with worth anything are the like shimmers over here. But other than that, these ones suck so bad. I don't care what primer I've used, what brushes I've used. Yeah, they come out patchy every single time. So I will be giving this palette for sure to my daughter. I hate it. It's terrible. And I don't hate eyeshadow palettes. Like I don't hate eyeshadow palettes. I am a collector of eyeshadow palettes. Like even if they're not that great, if the formula is dry or whatever, I'm like, yeah, well, I can do this to make it work, or I can do that to make it work. Like I will work to make the eyeshadow work. That's how much I like eyeshadow palettes. This one, I cannot make it work. I can't do it. So I don't even try. It is like so frustrating. It irritates me when I cannot get an eyeshadow to work. Like, are you serious right now? Are you serious? Especially a name brand. Like when I can't get a name brand eyeshadow palette to work, I'm like, okay. So I'm not even gonna deal with it anymore. She can have it. We're switching gears here. This is Pure. So this is my, of course, BoxyCharm and Pure palette. Loved this palette, as you can tell. I've used it a ton. I've used it on this channel. I have a video using this. It's very good. I love the coral and peachy tones in here. I've used it a ton. I'm going to be sad when I don't have those colors anymore. I have another Pure palette. The packaging on this is gorgeous. I love all the colors. But as you can see, the pan down here is broken. And I actually have two of these palettes because I got it from BoxyCharm. I emailed them. They sent me another one. And the black came broke in that one too. So I was like, okay, I'm just not supposed to try the black. But I really do like, I'm making a mess here. I really do like this palette. The colors in here, like Pure's formula is very soft, and that's why it broke like that. I know why it broke, and that's okay with me. Like their formula is really nice, so it sucks that it broke, but it's okay at the same time. Like it is what it is. Okay, so this was the Pure Festival 2.0. Now this is just the Pure Festival. Oh my god, I love this palette. This one is so pretty. I want to use that purple out of here and that pink too, but they are gorgeous. And like I said, Pure's formula is really nice. I've never had an issue with it other than, you know, it being so soft that they'll crumble and break a little bit, but they're not dry. They're just really soft. I have a couple of Amazon palettes here. Amazon palettes are actually a really good quality. This top one is Nova and this bottom one is You Can Be. I can link both of these down in the description box for you guys. I ordered this because it's supposed to be the Huda Beauty dupe, and so is this one as well. Like they're both supposed to be the Huda Beauty dupe. Now, the only difference in these, okay, are this top one has a little more purple undertone and this bottom one has more of a pink undertone. I've used the bottom one. I have not used this top one, so I'm going to put this in my pile of to try palettes. But they're both really pretty. The pan sizes on this one are a little bit bigger. The quality is really nice on this one. Like I didn't have an issue blending anything out. I really did enjoy this palette, and I want to say it was like around $10 or $15, but like I said, I will have both of these linked below. Okay, you guys, so like I'm down to my last little stack here. We're coming in for the final view of my palette collection here. So I'm gonna start off with some Colourpop. Colourpop is very affordable. I got this one out of a BoxyCharm box, I believe it was, but the colors in here are really pretty. I've always liked Colourpop formulas, and the prices of Colourpop you cannot beat. I just recently got this one. This is the Cherry Crush palette. I got this one when it was on sale. I paid like $5 for this, you guys. So I don't even think they offer this one anymore, to be honest, but it is a beautiful like red palette. It's got your red tones, it's got your pink tones, and it has your like berry tones. So I did appreciate that. Okay, and this is the newest palette that Colourpop came out with. I love this palette. This palette is so good. I use it all the time. I keep it definitely right here beside me because I do use this palette quite a bit. I just love all the tones in here. If you haven't tried Colourpop, you really should. The quality is really nice for their price. Okay, so up next is the Ace Beauty, and I just got this palette in the ice cream box. This is the Quintessential palette. I love this palette. I already had Ace Beauty's Grandinosis palette. I think I'm mispronouncing that, but so these two do have some duplicate shades. It doesn't bother me, but if you didn't want to spend the money on this huge palette, you could get this one and save a few dollars and get some of the same shades out of here. Ace Beauty's quality is phenomenal. Love their quality. This one right here, Scarlet Dusk. Oh, I love this one for summer. Summertime, this palette is so pretty because of them orange shades. I love them orange shades. I can't wait to use that palette. So now I have some Violet Voss. This is Essentials and Essentials 2. So in the Essentials palette, it's a very pretty palette. I love it. I haven't used these palettes too much, to be honest, but I love the like variety that you get in these, and the quality of Violet Voss is so good. The purples in this one are beautiful, and that blue shade I love too. The copper shade in here I've used a ton. I really do like this palette. I need to get it out and use it a bit more. And we're finally down to the last palette. This is the oldie. This is hashtag my holy grail. No kidding, this is my holy grail palette. I love this palette. I've had it for a couple years now, and I still use her all the time. This is my most used palette, I would say. I really love these shades over here the most. Just when I want to throw on something quick, easy, and go out the door, I know I can grab this palette. It has my transition shade, it has my all over the lid shade, it has my highlighting shade. Like, I just love this palette so much. As you can tell, like, she has been used for sure. She is old, but she is so good. The quality, I've never had an issue. They blend out so quick, so easy. If you ever want to try a Violet Voss palette, you should definitely try this one because it's so good. I hope it's still available, but I absolutely love this palette. It's my favorite, honestly it is. Okay, you guys, so that is the end of my palette collection that I have here. I don't know how big my collection is. I'm gonna say it's around 60 palettes. I'll pop the number up on the screen here. But honestly, I don't know. For me, that's not a lot because a lot of the videos that I watch, like, they're like 100 plus palettes, 200 plus palettes. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have quite 100 palettes. It's a little excessive probably for one person. Like, I probably don't need this many palettes, but I love my eyeshadow palettes. I cannot help it. and I always buy more. Every time I go to the store, I always end up seeing something. I'm like, oh, I want to try that. I haven't got to try that brand. Let me try this one. But yeah, let me know down in the comments, what is your like favorite name brand? If I had to like narrow it down to, let's say, my top 3, I would say Violet Voss, Colourpop, and Elf for sure. Like those are my 3 like top brands that I really like to use and that I always like go back to. So let me know what is your favorite brands to use down in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.